So I thought it might be quicker for me to record a video than to write out a whole blog post. Who knows? We'll see how this goes. But this is our Virgo full moon kit. So this month in the Moon Rituals subscription kit, you're going to get this cute little ramekin that holds a candle. So you can use the candle to light your sage. The sage is really powerful. You don't need that much of it. I know we sell the bundles here, and that's good for like house smudging and like really clearing out a space. But for ritual work, like light this and kind of wave the smoke around your area, and then, you know, wave the smoke around yourself to cleanse both your surroundings and yourself. Kind of set your container for your sacred space. But this is enough. You don't need a whole bunch, okay? So light this, blow it out, don't let it flame up and burn your house down. And have a fire safe container. If you want, you can use, you know, the little ramekin as your fire safe container. But yeah, so light your candle, clean your space. That's step one. Then we're gonna make some moon water. We're gonna charge some water under this full moon. And let's talk a little bit about this moon. The full moon tonight, it goes exact at 3:16 a.m. In the middle of the night. But you know, most practitioners will say 3 days before, 3 days after the full moon is a good time to work with the full moon energy. So tonight, tomorrow, early next week, you're gonna be good. Virgo is a mutable earth sign. So mutable means kind of adaptable. When we think of the mutable signs, they're the signs that kind of conclude a season. And so they have kind of that energy of having learned the lessons of that season, I guess is a way to say it. So, you know, I think when you think of mutable signs, you can kind of think of adaptability. So fixed signs obviously are more fixed. That's a pretty good word for that. And you know, your cardinal signs are your signs that kind of lead you into a season. Look, the heat cut off, so now you can probably hear me better. So they kind of have that like charging into a season energy. Whereas kind of Virgo has this mutable energy, like the conclusion of winter, moving into spring. And what are the lessons we've learned from the winter? Being an earth sign, earth is a very practical element. It's got a real concentrated force. It's all about kind of sensations and connecting with your physical body, which is good for us right now because we've had, and we still have, a lot of Aquarian energy. You know, we had 6 planets in Aquarius for the last, I think the new moon, not the full moon. And that can put us in our heads because Aquarius is all about the mind and intellectual kind of energy. So if we get too lost in our heads, then we can kind of become spazzy and ungrounded. So Virgo energy is really good for grounding. That tie to the earth is really good for grounding, which we probably need right now. You know, I think the earth, you can think of it both as providing our sustenance, like our food, our water, our shelter. But, you know, the grounding aspect of it also gives us kind of this nurturing, generous, even kind of inspirational energy. It's got this real gentleness to it that can kind of be a good counterbalance to the kind of Aquarian, you know, rebellious energy. And there is still a lot of that Aquarian energy out there. So this is a good time to kind of ground all that, to bring it into our physical reality. So Virgo is really all about discernment. You know, I think it's ruled by Mercury, which is the planet of details. And so, you know, Virgos can have a real keen ability to spot imperfections and get really, you know, the shadow side of Virgo, you know, is kind of getting too caught up in perfectionism. and wanting everything to be perfect and wanting yourself to be perfect and being your own worst critic. You know, like the shadow side of Virgo is really about criticism and self-criticism. So we want to kind of tap into the good things, the discernment. Full moons in particular are really good for kind of connecting to your soul wisdom, your guides. You know, I think it's a really good time to kind of get messages from spirit, source, whatever you believe in. So, you know, you get this kind of illumination at the full moon. And so when you tie that in with the Virgo gift of discernment, it's a good time to kind of sit and get guidance. I think this is my interpretation of all of this. So what do we have in our full moon kit to help you with that? Like I said, step one is cleaning and clearing the energy of your space and yourself. But then for this ritual, you're going to want to get some water. And I'd recommend just purified water, something that's kind of good for you. You don't want to get just junk out of the faucet and run it through a filter. Well, that's a whole nother tangent. We don't need to go on. If you want to use faucet water, you do what works with your heart. I would say it's probably best for you to use purified water, but I'm not trying to be judgy. So when we get into our ritual space, I've got a recorded meditation. The link for that will be with this video. So you can kind of click on that. After you cleanse your space, you can listen to that meditation. That's going to talk about finding, you know, that guidance that I was talking to, really listening deep within. So that'll kind of get you in a good headspace for your ritual work. And then the ritual work this month is kind of neat. Like I said, we're making moon water. So this is the little container that you're gonna get. So it's just a little tin container. Comes with the lid. And in that container, you're gonna put this pink salt blend. It's got some lavender and essential oils and Himalayan pink salt. And then I've got some myrrh. This is myrrh resin for you to also put in there. And then rose petals. Full moons are also a really good time to release things. So if there's something in your life that's giving you lots of trouble that you'd like kind of the energy of release to get it out of your life or help you deal with it, you know, you can write stuff on these rose petals. You know, I think if you're struggling with like self-doubt or, you know, the lack of self-worth and you want to just get rid of that and have some help getting rid of that, you can put that kind of stuff on here. So yeah, you can use these just as they are, or if you want to, you can write something on there that you'd like to release with gratitude for, you know, what you've learned from the experience. Yeah, so we put all of that in our container. And then also each kit is getting these lovely rose quartz not tumbles, this is raw actually, it's raw and tumbled on one side, from Soper Stones and Crystals. So there's a pretty good chunk of rose quartz. So you can put that down in the container too with the other ingredients. And then you're gonna fill that container up with water. And I like to, some people use mason jars. The moon energy, it gets to us regardless of where we are. You know, like walls and stuff don't keep it out. So I don't worry about using glass. I use whatever container I can find. But if you want to, you can put it outside. Some people like to put it outside under the moon. I have a window where the moon kind of passes. Usually, obviously, the moon's path will shift, but usually comes through and hits this window. So anything I'm charging under the moon, once I get it done, I'll set it in that window, and I kind of take some time and center into my heart space, and I set the intention. This water will be charged with the energies of this full moon, with the energies for my highest good. And I ask that this full moon release anything that's no longer serving my highest good. And just spend some time like in your heart space, set that intention. And then set set the water out overnight under the moon. So you're going to want to make sure, because these rose petals, if you leave it too long, these rose petals will get nasty. They'll smell funky. So the next morning after you set it out, you want to drain everything, drain your water out of your container, like pour it through, you know, a strainer or something like that. But just gather the water, and then you can use that water throughout this, you know, the next couple of weeks. You can put it in your bath, like take a bath and kind of cleanse and release and like recharge yourself with the energy of the moon. Or you can put it into kind of a spray bottle and kind of spritz yourself with it from time to time. It kind of, you know, it helps. Again, everything starts mentally and then we bring it in physically, that whole as above, so below thing. So this can help us, you know, this water being charged with these energies, if we kind of spritz ourselves with it, again, it can kind of remind us of this intention that we set, or whatever it is that you choose to work on this month. You know, if you have guidance that comes through during the meditation and you choose for that to be your work, this can kind of remind you of that. So the only thing I would say is, like, once you've got this rose water charged, if you don't use it in like 1 or 2 days, I would put it in the fridge. You can add in some witch hazel, which will help keep it and make it last longer. But I'd still refrigerate it. It's obviously these are organic ingredients, so you want to make sure you use it within a couple of weeks. And if you don't use it within a couple of days, you're going to want to make sure you refrigerate it. Yeah. So then we've done kind of the cleansing and clearing, step 1, meditation, step 2, the ritual, kind of making the charged moon water is our step 3. You want to make sure at the end of your ritual that you thank, you know, ancestors, guides, whoever you've kind of connected to create this sacred container. Just give some thanks back to them for being with you and watching over you. And, you know, gratitude is always a good way to end any sort of ritual work. So that's kind of where I would wrap things up. When you strain your water and have your moon water to use, you'll also have, once you kind of clean it off from the other stuff that's down in the water, you'll have this little rose quartz that'll also be cleansed from the full moon and charged with the energy of the full moon. And the reason why I've chosen kind of the pink salts and the roses and the myrrh is to kind of give you that self-love aspect, to kind of counteract the, you know, harsh criticism or the shadow side of Virgo, the perfectionist. Like, all of this should help us do what we're doing with the utmost of self-love. Rose quartz is kind of one of those essential self-love crystals. So I'm telling you all of this because you can then carry this crystal around with you. I like to stick them in my bra. If you're not a bra wearing person, you can put them in your pocket. You can put it in your purse. You can, you know, make a necklace out of it if you want to, make a bracelet out of it. You can also, I also find just like leaving them by my bedside after I've charged them, by my bedside table, is a good thing. But it'll be a good reminder of kind of the energies that you felt and whatever work you're choosing to do at this full moon. And it'll also kind of help give you a little boost in that work. So I think that's everything. Oh, I forgot to talk about the oil. Silly goose. All right, so this is the little oil blend. It also has some myrrh down in it, but the oil blend itself is frankincense, patchouli, sandalwood, and just a little smidge of lavender. Smidge a word? I don't know. So this, after you cleanse and clear yourself with the sage and your surroundings, you can either put a little drop on this on your candle, or you can kind of use your thumb. Your right thumb is typically the age-old way of doing anointing. I do it kind of on my third eye, that wisdom spot between your eye, because I think, you know, since we're looking for guidance, that's a good spot for it to go. There's plenty in there. You only need a drop or two on your candle. You only need a little bit on your because this is undiluted, right? If you're going to really put it on your body, you're going to want to mix it with a carrier oil. So there will be some left over. You can use it in a diffuser. You can put it down in a spray bottle, put like a splash of alcohol and fill it up with water and make a room spray. This is going to be a really relaxing blend. It'll be great for meditation. So you want to kind of missed the step at the beginning. But when you're going through all this, you're going to want to, after you use your sage, you're going to want to either like use it to anoint yourself or put it on your candle so you can kind of get the aromatherapy from it. I think that's everything now. I don't think I've forgotten to talk about anything now. So I hope you guys have a wonderful, blessed full moon. I hope you find some really good grounding energies from the kind of earth element of this full moon. And I hope that we are able to avoid kind of the shadow side, the harsh critic and the perfectionism that can come with Virgo, and really just tap into the discernment and, pull in some self-love and give yourself some time to take care of yourself. With all my love, enjoy this Virgo full moon.